Sergey Brin is an American computer scientist and entrepreneur who co-founded the online search engine Google, one of the most successful and impactful sites on the internet. His journey to create Google began in the late 1980s, when, after receiving multiple degrees in computer science and mathematics at the University of Maryland, Brin went on to enter Stanford University's graduate program, through which he met his co-founder Larry Page. The two men were both fascinated with the idea of enhancing the average American's ability to navigate the data accumulating on the internet, and began working to create a new type of search technology that would go on to take the world by storm. Indeed, by the mid-2000s, Americans had long stopped searching for things on the internet. They were Googling them. By founding Google, Sergey Brin has not only forged a path for future technological advancement, but has also dramatically increased the size and scope of the world for people across the globe, as well as made and remade how we receive and process our information. Perhaps his greatest impact upon the United States, however, is that the invention of Google has revolutionized modern American imperialism by shifting it from a solely military sector based on physical force to an increasingly digital sector based more on influence. Don't be evil has long since been the motto of Google, courtesy of Sergey Brin, when he stated, "In a word, Google's goal is to do important stuff that matters to a lot of people. In pursuit of that goal, we've developed a set of values that drive our work, including one of our most cherished core values. Don't be evil." However, after Google's merge with Alphabet in May of last year, the clause was removed from Google's code of conduct, though the rest of the code remained unchanged since the earlier 2018 edition. This statement was replaced with "do the right thing." This is slightly more ominous given the context and also has more room for interpretation as Google expands even further into the global playing field. Google has undoubtedly been a significant factor in establishing English as the primary language of the internet. While Mandarin is the most spoken language in the world, according to an article from The Guardian entitled "Behemoth Bully Thief: How the English Language is Taking Over the Planet," all Chinese dialects combined only encompass 1.7% of the internet's content, whereas English dominates an ever-increasing 54% majority. Google, being an American company initially founded for the benefit of Americans, is dominated by content written primarily in English. What's more, the recent petition to scan and upload text to Google from notable libraries across the U.S., namely Harvard, Yale, the University of Michigan, and Stanford, has faced protests from foreign powers on the basis that this would irreversibly entrench English as the dominant language of the internet. The article concludes by arguing that this dominance of English on the internet reflects the United States' current political climate, wherein English has become a core aspect of American identity. This manifestation of English superiority on the internet fits as an extension of American imperialism, one that Google, as one of the largest search engines on the internet, has helped to establish. Google has also revolutionized how people across the globe communicate, and as such has played a vital role in American globalization. The invention of Gmail, as well as several other programs, including Google Docs, Google Hangout, and Google Analytics, has permanently sculpted American business by moving corporate operations to an almost completely digital sector. One such company that has established a strong international presence is Google itself. Currently, 1.2 billion people across the globe use Google. But while 80% of these users are not Americans, over one-third of Google's 70 headquarters are located in the United States. This increased ability to establish a global presence has allowed American companies to build headquarters and relationships that span the globe, thus increasing the influence of American business upon the world. The invention of Google has also influenced other nations at the individual level. Google News provides people with information on current events. Google Search powers education and general curiosity. YouTube has revolutionized both entertainment and advertisement. In a matter of years, the very world has become available to us with nothing more than the push of a button. A deeper look into the many programs of Google, however, reveals their much darker effect. Google News is littered with articles written with implicit American bias. Recent outcry regarding Google search has revealed blatant censorship of massive amounts of information in nations including China, Russia, and even Great Britain. YouTube has become a platform for companies to push American products, like Coca-Cola and Android, to people out across the world. In the article, Welcome to the Age of Digital Imperialism, from the New York Times, author Bill Weisick argues that the United States has slowly and for decades been exercising imperial control over developing nations through the internet, by altering mindsets to fall in line with American ideals. He writes, shaping consciousness and controlling public debate is being insourced to secret services or military units and outsourced to firms like Cambridge Analytica. These forces are not constrained by national boundaries. In cyberspace, it is just as easy to invade the thinking of people in another country as it is in your own. Digital imperialists do not need to go to the expense of physical colonization. They can further their interests and extend their powers by colonizing minds rather than territories. If the very definition of imperialism is a policy of extending a country's power and influence through force to further its own agenda, then Google's effect on the world is most certainly a revamped version of 18th century imperialism. Sergey Brin belongs on the APUSH Wall of Fame because by inventing Google, he has revolutionized modern American imperialism. While his effect on U.S. history may seem indirect, as with many influential persons throughout U.S. history, Brin's significance lies not in his actions, but in his legacy. And his legacy is Google, a company that has amassed so much power that it has permanently altered our world and revolutionized the means by which the United States continues to establish its role in the global playing field.